you did.
I said it sounds like something that I did, yes. And I'll accept that. I'll take responsibility for that.
I've been looking at Twitter that's been rolling up while we've been talking about this. Jordana 951 says, if you want your daughters to get over the past, then give them a way to close those doors and open new healthy ones. At Pretty Unlimited says, sometimes people don't admit and apologize. They'd rather save face than save their relationships. At Feral Woman says, sometimes people have moms that shouldn't have children. I did. You have to learn to fold them and move on. Well, we'll talk about that when we come back. Up next, Jen's daughter Haley says her grandma sent her 27 text messages in 2.5 weeks, but she never responded. We're going to find out why. Is this her choice? Is her mother programming her? Is she getting caught in a tug-of-war here with extended family, which is not good? We'll talk about that after the break.
I have not spoken to my grandmother in about 3 years. If I could say anything to my grandmother, I would just ask her to get help.
Closed captioning provided by... Till earlier today, Peggy and her daughter Jen hadn't spoken to each other in 7 years. Jen says her mother is a manipulator, a liar, and after 31 years of chaos, Jen says, well, she says she's just had enough. Peggy says since her daughter cut her off, she's been alienated from her family, including her granddaughter, Haley. Now, Haley says it was her choice to stop talking to her grandmother and says she really doesn't miss her. Take a look.
I have not spoken to my grandmother in about 3 years. It was my decision to stop talking to her. I do not feel like I'm missing out on a relationship with my grandmother because even when she was in my life, we never had a strong bond. My mom and I have talked about what has happened to her as a child. It makes me very sad how my grandmother treated my mom growing up. If I could say anything to my grandmother, it would be that I do love her. I will always love her because she's my grandmother, but I would just ask her to get help so we could work on having a relationship together.
Well, Haley, thank you for joining us. You wanted to be part of this conversation, and I respected that and wanted you to be here. You haven't talked to your grandmother in quite some time,
yes,
but she's here now. Is there anything you want to say to your granddaughter?
I love you so much. What do you want me to do?
I just want you to stop lying. I want you to admit to the things that you've done.
I don't have a problem admitting the things I've done. I know but there's never been a problem between us.
But there has been.
Like what? What's the problem?
I have memories from when I was 4 and I was living in your house, and on Christmas Day, you took my new presents away from me without any explanation whatsoever. I wasn't doing anything wrong, and you just left me there crying.
We were trying to watch a movie, and you kept walking in front of us. The adults couldn't see the movie, and I told you repeatedly to stop.
This is the first time that you've been with Haley in how long?
Thanksgiving of 2012.
And your first strategy is to start having an argument with her about who was right when she was 4.
Well,
and I'm just curious about what your goal is. You're barking at her, and then we bring out Haley, and you start barking at her, and and I understand that you're under some attack here because she's saying that, you beat her about the head and shoulders, and so she can't hear and see, and she has headaches, and that you ran drugs out of the house and men in the house, and she felt neglected and hurt, and she's not over that and has an open wound.